Time for an odd man rush here at Soccer Down here. It's a 2v1. So as we catch up and follow along with our coverage of South Georgia Tormenta winning the USL-W title, we're going to be kind of drifting in and out of Statesboro this weekend next. So bat and lead off, the head coach, Jim Robbins. Coach, congratulations. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, John. Much appreciated.
Has it sunk in?
Fully? No, not at all. Still trying to process everything.
All right, let's go back to match day and what was going through your mind there at Tico, knowing that it was a hostile environment, although there were some Tormenta supporters there. What was it like having 6,500 people, probably 6,400 of them, yelling at you instead of for you?
It was intimidating, to say the least. The crowd, they were awesome. I mean, the long and short of it, I mean, the noise, the volume, everything that they did. They got some hecklers behind us. They were going after me. They were going after Jason. They were going after Maxi. And when Maxi got the red card, double yellow, they went nuts. They were picking on Colt. So they definitely had their fun for 120 minutes. I think thankfully the players were able to tune it all out for the most part. I think with Jada scoring that second goal and giving the old hush hush hand signals, that was pretty cool. But it was tough, man. To have that in a game like that was awesome.
So also now joining us, Amy Andrews. And so, Amy, the first question that I asked Coach was, I went back to match day, and I wanted to ask what it was like to have a full house there in Minneapolis, and probably short of 100 of the 6,500 were yelling at you instead of for you. What was it like being in that kind of a cauldron chasing after a championship?
It felt very professional, and you kind of just turn it as if they're supporting you, because you hear the drums and everything, and the only way you kind of just shut it out anyway. But when you're walking onto the field for the first time, it feels like they're supporting you, even though we know deep down they're not. They're against us. They want us to lose. But it was by far one of the best experiences I've ever had, and it was amazing, honestly. It just made me want to win more, hearing them against me. So.
All right, and I will ask about the TikTok later on. So that is a question that I'm going to kind of have under the sleeve here in just a little bit. But since it is now officially a 2v1 and the odd man rush is complete, we're going to go snake format here. Since I asked Coach the first question, I'm now going to ask Amy the next two, since you answered second. So we're going to do it this way. All right, so you're going through the match. You get the early lead. What was the vibe like there on the field with the 1-0 lead, but then all of a sudden it ends up being 1-1? What was the vibe with the early lead and having to fight to keep it?
As soon as we scored, I wasn't surprised. I knew we were going to, get the early lead. I had a feeling we were just so ready to go. And then when they scored, I was like, okay, this is going to be a very entertaining game. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be very rough. It's going to be very tiring at the end. We're not going to be able to walk because we're going to have to fight with everything that we have. But I always felt like we have it. Like, I always felt inside that we're going to win this game. There's no way. We went through all of that in the summer, everything we've gone through. And, speaking to everyone and seeing how they feel about it, I just did not believe we would lose that game. So, yes, I was nervous, especially when they got the penalty. I was very nervous. But all along, I truly believed that we were going to win that game.
All right, so, Coach, let's get to the point of the penalty. And it's been a while since I've seen a triple save. The bottom line is, it's been a while since I've seen a triple save. You're having to watch. I mean, Amy is an active participant here, and she's keeping an eye on things. She's a lot closer to that than you are. You're over there on the other side of the touchline having to watch with everybody else. What's going through your mind at that point of the PK?
No, from a coaching perspective, I think we've all been in that situation, and my heart sank a little bit, because you're like, the girls have fought so hard, they've done so well, we've come all this way, and you felt like at that point, or like, this is going to be it. We're going to go out in this fashion, in this way. Like, we knew, though, going in and doing some scouting, we knew which way that the shooter was going to go. I couldn't get the information out to Sydney because it was so loud. I was screaming at the top of my lungs going, she's going to go to keeper's right. And nobody in the place could hear us because it was an absolute zoo. It was so loud there. And but then there's that little part in the back of your brain that goes, you got the best goalkeeper in the league right now. I mean, something could happen. And between her making the first save and putting off the post, and Erin, who got called for the handball, my wife and I watched it again last night, like for her to position herself on that side of the D, and then she was the one that reacted first. There's a couple other players, Abby and somebody else there. She reacts first and blocks the second shot, and then Sydney sort of scrambles to her right and gets up and deals with the third one. And then once all that happened, sort of like Amy said, at that point, I was like, this game's ours now. That they're not going to be able to recover emotionally from that, and that's going to give us all the momentum here in these last couple minutes. But, yeah, you talk about riding the highs and the super highs and the super lows, or I should reverse that, the super lows and the super highs, in the span of 15 seconds. I was like, I don't know if I could handle anymore. It was crazy.
And then you get the absolute banger from like 25 to give you the lead. And Amy, and I know that this is only the audio version of this is going out, but I'm staring at both of you. And I mentioned banger and 25. Amy's sitting there and she's shaking her head. Jim, you're sitting there shaking your head. That was an absolute rocket. I don't think many folks could have gotten a hold of that one.
No, and I didn't from where I was sitting, because we were on the far side, near the far technical area, I couldn't really tell how good of a shot it was. I actually thought she was closer, from when looking down the field. And then you watch the replay, from the backside through the net, and you look at the quality of that strike. I mean, it's a full volley with a cut, and she puts that thing just inside the far post. Because somebody next to me was like, the keeper should have had that. And then you look from the back, you're like, there's no way that keeper gets that because of the quality of that strike. And if you're going to win a game of that magnitude in that moment, that's a great way to do it right there.
So Amy, you get the Duke, you've survived the 120, you get the 2-1 win. How long did it take to process? I mean, whistle blows. How long did it process? Holy bleep, we've actually won a championship here.
Well, there was some of the girls were crying already, and I don't think it hit me straight away. I was just like, what? I knew we were going to win. I literally knew we were going to win. I believed in this team so hard, and I know that we played the best soccer in the league. I believe we played the best soccer. So I knew we were going to win. So when we won, I was like, that's another one off the list. I just knew it. And then we stood there and we were watching Aurora go up and get their second place medals, and I just started crying, and I was like, God, we worked so hard all summer, physically, mentally. I just started crying. I felt so exhausted, and I was like, we did it. We've done it. That's the job done now. Time to go home. Job complete. Business trip done. It was amazing.
And then you get on the plane. Now there's a vicious rumor, Amy, that the trophy got its own seat on the plane because it had to be secured. You can't just have a trophy kind of wandering around a plane. It has to be secured. It has to be fastened in with the seat belt. It's got to have its own space. Did it have its own space on the flight home?
I think so. I was at the back, so I didn't really see, but I don't know.
So Jim, did it have its own? Did it have its own space? What was it given its own seat for the flight home?
I will dispel all the rumors. The truth is, Aaron Cranford was hugging that thing like it was a little baby for the entire flight back. I think at one point he was actually asleep with it. He had it on the tray table there, and he was double arms around this thing. He was sitting right next to me. I was on the aisle. He was on the aisle. So I was ready to take some pictures because it was certainly some funny moments coming back with that.
So you walk out to the airport in Savannah. What was it like to see the response of everybody there waiting for you to deplane, disembark, get through baggage claim, and head out towards civilization? What was that like? Coach?
Sorry. I mean, typical for me. I was at the back of the pack. I actually went the wrong way once we left the gate. That was my first time flying in and out of Savannah. So we came in at gate 8. I was going down to gate 14 and realized my mistake and had to go the other way. So I was way behind the rest of the pack. But the noise level, the cheering, the applause. I mean, it was a pretty good line of people checking in through security there, and people there. I'm not sure they knew what was going on, but everybody was clapping, and we had all of our staff, and the men's coaches were all there. So it was really cool, to see that. everybody just sort of sharing in our excitement and getting to the ground there in Savannah.
Okay, so Amy, your turn. When you come out the gate, obviously the way things are with airports these days, you kind of have to wait till you get to the common area to get responses. What was it like to see everybody there and kind of get the home feel for what it meant to bring this championship back to Statesboro?
Well, I didn't realize that we were going to have that many people. I didn't realize we were going to have anyone there. I thought everyone was just going to meet at the clubhouse, where we all always hang out anyway. But to see everyone there, from the men's side to the head coach and everything, it meant so much. It really just made me realize even more how special the club is, that everyone really does come together through everything, and they are genuinely happy for other people's achievements, even if their team isn't doing as well as us. They were so happy to see us there. And like Jim said, I was one of the first ones, so I was walking up, I saw them, and I was just like, I was so happy. And then you had people in security clapping, and they clearly had no idea what they were clapping for, but it was so sweet. It was very loud, and it was just so nice to bring it home. Like they sent us on a trip to win the trophy. We won the trophy. We come back, and it's like, here you go, you deserve it. And yeah, it meant so much.
Jim Robbins, head coach of Tormenta's USL-W side, Amy Andrews, who got a couple of accolades this season in USL-W, a couple of things to add to the dais and to the CV, hanging out with us here on a Soccer Down Here 2v1. So, Amy, let me ask you this. Where is the medal right now?
My medal?
Yeah, where is your medal right this very second? Where is it? Where is it hiding?
It's on my suitcase right now.
Now, are you going to display it prominently, or does it go in a safety deposit box? Does it go under glass on a spotlight? What's its future for you?
I'm going to wear it as much as I can for now. I mean, we're seeing some family friends tomorrow and things like that. I'm literally wearing it to every event until I can't wear it anymore. But it's going to be in a very safe spot. Yeah.
What's it? Well, then let me ask you this, Amy. What's it been like to your family and friends? Because the journey goes Birmingham, England, Western Illinois, Statesboro, Georgia, with all these different parts of the world that you've been touching. What's the response been like with friends and family with all these different locations?
They've honestly given me so much love. They're so proud of me. They are not surprised because I've been scoring goals all my life. I've been doing it for different clubs that I've been to. I've been doing it at Western. They knew I was going to come here and do it. So they're just very excited for my future to see what happens. And they're very happy that I'm getting the recognition that I deserve, and they can't wait to keep supporting me and to see what's next.
All right, so Jim, where is your medal? Because I know that when you got your medal, you got a hug from the major domo from USL-W as a part of the procession. I think you were like one of the last ones to get your medal. Where is your medal, and is it going under glass?
I don't know if I'm afraid to admit this. I have a little thing in my apartment there in Rincon, Georgia, where I have the inaugural USL-W scarf. I have the Tormenta scarf that was given to me by Darren and Nietzsche when I signed my contract, so they are there. So I just placed the medal on top of there nicely at this point. I did order a Tormenta women's jersey the other day, so I'm going to see. I told him, I said, "Can you on the back? Can you get the year and can you get champions put on the back?" And then once I get that, my wife actually she made me a card. My wife's a teacher, so she made me a card. Congratulations, coach. So at some point, I think I'm going to get the sort of like you have the jersey in the background, get it boxed, framed, get everything in there nice. This is definitely one of the best things that has ever happened to me in my 30-year career. If not, I mean, like I said, I don't know if I could recreate this any way, shape, or form anyhow. Like I said, Amy and I were going back and forth a little while ago, doing this 30 years, you figure I got another 12, 13, 14 years in the tank. But I mean, this will rank by far and away as the best thing that has ever happened to me, in my coaching profession. So yeah, I'm gonna build this thing up and have this thing be real nice. I'm gonna stick this thing on my wall somewhere. It's all gonna be put together.
So then, Jim, let me ask you this: what advice would you give to a young player or to another coach who might be in a similar situation? Because we know USL-W is going to grow. We know the Super League is coming. All of the different things that USL has going on, whether it's League One, League Two, new franchises, all this kind of stuff. For an individual, regardless of what they do, if they're presented with an opportunity like this to take that leap, what advice would you give them when it comes to someone knocking on their door or texting them and going, hey, we want you to be a part of something from the ground up? What advice would you give them in a situation like that?
Well, it's like I just told Amy a couple of minutes ago. Just go for it. Don't ever look back. Don't ever question it. And it's going to be a wild ride. And like I said, I feel like I did that little bit of leap of faith on my end in coming out of Peachtree City and going down there to Statesboro and sort of like we talked about on previous calls. I mean, we knew what the vision was, at Tormenta. Darren and Nitra spelled it out pretty clearly, but you just don't know. And there's some fear, there's some anxiety. Is this the right choice? Is now the right time? But I said, for me, for anyone, and like I said, I'm a little bit older in the coaching profession, and we laughed at the banquet that I was the oldest one there, among both teams and staffs. But yeah, just keep your fingers crossed, enjoy the ride, and don't even question it. And just you may never have that chance again. That's the thing.
All right, so Amy, what would you tell other collegians, folks of your age group, players that are given a chance like this? What memory would you, I guess, present to them, and how would you sit there and lock in the idea of taking that leap of faith like you did as a player?
Honestly, the same kind of thing. I feel like if you're not uncomfortable in a situation, it's not the right situation to be in, because doing new things is very scary. But I mean, look what I did. I was born in England. I decided to move to America for 4 years. Very scary. I was so scared, and I was very uncomfortable to do it. It's a new thing, but it was the best thing I've ever done. And then going all the way to Georgia when I'm in Illinois, again, another scary and uncomfortable situation when the team's brand new. You don't know anyone. You don't know the coach really. You don't know anyone at all. But again, look at the season I had, like one of the best seasons of my life. And then it's just, if you want to get your name out there, if you want to do things like this, you have to take risks and you just have to go for it. Even though it's very scary, it's worth it in the end.
So what's it like, Amy, having friendships on steroids like you had in this situation with Tormenta?
It was very, it was unique, crazy, but, one of the best things I've ever done. It was unreal.
Coach, have you ever done TikTok? Jim, have you ever done a TikTok ever in your life? As he's connecting to audio.
Oh.
So he's drifting in and out. But, Jim, let me ask you once again. Have you ever done TikTok yourself?
Me personally have never, ever done it. I try to stay away from that stuff, but somehow I find my way into other people's. I don't know why, but people want me to squeeze into their stuff. But no, I stay away from that stuff.
Okay, so for those of us of a certain vintage, Amy, we don't know how the TikTok works. Mm-hmm. And when you did the TikTok that has gone somewhat viral in soccer circles, I will admit that I don't know the artist. I don't know the lyric. I do know that there was celebrations involved. I don't know how you edit TikToks. So if you could give Coach and me editing 101 or TikTok 101 with the TikTok that you created, celebrating the win, break that down, how you came up with the idea of picking that particular song, doing those particular edits. How did you do TikTok 101 to create something that went as viral as it did in soccer circles?
It honestly came from Alex Morgan, one of the best. I already love her anyway. Like I do the tea celebration all the time, which is what she did when she played England. And I saw the TikTok she made when she beat Canada, and I absolutely loved it. It shows how confident you are that your team's going to win. And it shows how incredible it is when you do win and you can actually finish the TikTok. But honestly, not much goes into making the TikTok. I just made sure I film myself in my room when no one's around and no one can see me, which is embarrassing. And I knew we were going to win. So I did that first part, stopped it. And then I remembered that I got to finish it when we won. And I just finished it with the rest of the girls. And I got the sound from her TikTok. So it's literally the exact same as hers. It's just our own version. And that's all I did.
Okay. So once again, thanks for hanging out with us for a 2v1. Last question for both. Amy, what is next? What's next on the calendar? Because, here in the office, and I will show you, I have 4 separate calendars that I reference at any given point. This is my desk calendar. This is one of the versions that I look at. So as you fill out your summer and get ready for summer and fall, what is next for USL-W champ Amy Andrews?
So I've obviously got one season left at college with Western that I need to keep my stats up and do well in. I'm going to register for the NWSL draft to see if anything happens there. If not, then 100% the Super League I want to be a part. I want to stay in America and play soccer professionally. So I think I've done a good job to put my name out there, and I think there's, a big possibility I can do that. So we'll see. NWSL or the Super League, maybe both one day.
And so, Coach, what is next for you? Obviously, there is no rest when it comes to coaching on any level, and you've got to start thinking. Maybe give yourself another week or two before you start thinking about next season for USL-W and the Tormenta women's side. What's next for you, and what's going on?
Well, first, probably going to have one or two beers. I don't know if I can say that online, but I'm going to have one or two. I think we deserved it. We worked the staff worked really, really hard. Number two, this is going to sound funny. Maybe your viewers may like this or not, but we are actually going to take the staff to the Collective Soul concert and meet up with Will and Ed and the guys. Will's a good friend of mine. His son played with my son back in the day here in Atlanta. So we're going to the September 9th show in Charleston. So see the band, meet the band, hang out with those guys afterwards, and then it's going to be start the building process for next summer. So, we got some huge shoes to fill. So we're not sure who's going to be back and so on and so forth. We're hoping everybody comes back, but we're going to start that process and get ready for 2023. Love to have Amy back, but we want her to move on to bigger and better things. That girl needs to start making some money for scoring goals because she can score a lot of them. But, that's really the 1, 2, 3 for me.
Definitely great reasons to see you guys shine this season here with the Tormenta FC and on the USL-W side. Coach Jim Robbins, head coach at Tormenta on the Tormenta FC on the USL-W side. Amy Andrews, all right, so champion, first and foremost, medal winner, second, trophy holder. 4 margaritas, was that the right number? Was it 4?
Yep.
Okay, so 4 margaritas that it's held inside the trophy itself. Golden Boot, MVP, all these kinds of things. Amy Andrews from Tormenta, Jim Robbins, the head coach at Tormenta as well. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us for a 2v1. Congratulations. Glad you're back. Glad you have trophies and medals and all these kinds of stuff. We'll be keeping up with you soon. And thanks again for another 2v1. Congratulations on a fantastic first year.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.